With the latest episode of Apothecary Diaries, we actually learned a few secrets here and there. Even though it was kind of a setup episode, there was still a few hints and drops of things that actually would lead up to more of the story development as each episode goes on. First things first, let's start with the theme song once again. We are revisiting this because previously I said that maybe, you know, the dancing and stuff that's happening through the theme song is Maomao's mother, because it shows how it like comforts Maomao. And I said at first I thought this was her, but then we learned about a mother and I was like, oh, okay, it's her mother that used to be in a brothel and all this. And how I even said that it was like, oh, maybe it's her future self comforting her past self. Well, I probably was right the first go around, because come to find out, this is actually Maomao. And Maomao is actually very beautiful. And it's very striking, because I've never had a theme song try to seduce me. Like, it's actually pretty funny. If you haven't seen the theme song, which I assume you have if you're watching this analysis, like the whole dancing and everything like that, and the licking of the lips, like what in the world? It's like, okay, I don't think I've had the theme song that tries to be like, hey viewer, how you doing? Before they go into the actual anime. But yes, this is actually Maomao. Come to find out, Maomao actually puts on makeup and clay to make herself look ugly, or make herself look less beautiful. They had to get ready for the garden party. So the garden party is the emperor and his 4 main concubines, basically going outside, enjoying a garden party, you know, a little party outside, you know, it's supposed to be a nice season. And it's crazy. I'm actually left astonished that she does this and how smart she is, because she even says herself, she grew up around a brothel. So she wants to make sure she's not the target of someone trying to grab her and like take her in a back alley to do things, especially if they're not, one, they're not satisfied after leaving the brothel, or 2, they're too poor to actually go into the brothel, or, you know, all kinds of different things. And it's very smart way of keeping oneself safe in this day and age. Like, we're too bogged down nowadays with technology to kind of be like, oh, we rely on technology to keep us safe by, you know, calling the police or mace or just anything. But back then they didn't have all those conveniences that we currently do now. So Maomao, using her intellect, actually, instead of making makeup to make her look better, she used makeup to make herself look worse. I mean, dang, I would literally just give her a dab, be like, dang, that's a really smart way of keeping oneself safe. Now let's talk about Maomao's job. Well, her side job, I would say, that was opened up in this episode. It's getting cold, the wind is picking up, and they're supposed to have a garden party, which, to be honest, most of the people are just gonna be standing there doing nothing, especially the attendants. They're gonna be standing in the cold. So Maomao got this ingenious idea to make an undergarment that she can put, like, basically having pockets, and then that way she can put warmers inside those pockets to keep herself warm through this cold. Well, that idea just kind of took off. Everyone starts coming to her, hey, can you make me one? Hey, can you make me one? Like, literally, the emperor's seamstress came to her and is like, yeah, you gotta teach me how to do that. The fact is, this lowly girl is being bombarded by all these high-ranking people, and they come to her for all this stuff. And it's just crazy to me, like their customs and the stuff that they are used to having. She's able to actually like, oh yeah, I just kind of did this simple thing. They're like, it's so simple, why didn't I think of that? But she comes out and she has this idea, and bam, she's able to actually produce. But of course that made her very busy, because she started having to sew and make this for pretty much everybody. Which, like I said, this is like her side job, because too bad she can't get paid for it, but hey, it works out. She's able to help herself out and others. But let us not forget the main crux of this episode. Now, the main thing is, in the beginning, a guy is throwing stuff into a fire to get burned, and come to find out, he throws some wooden sticks into the fire. The fire grows and it's in different colors and pretty much burns him. or he ends up getting a rash in his hands. He was thinking he was cursed. He's like, oh my God, I'm cursed, whatever. Come to find out, she's like, dude, really? It's just nothing more than whatever you threw into the fire. It was either had a negative reaction on your hands, or, you know, had a negative reaction to the fire and made the fire different colors, like fireworks. So she's like, just use this ointment and you're fine. But our guy Jinshi is like, okay, there's something even more drastic happening here. More than likely what is happening is someone's sending secret coded messages on these wooden sticks, and probably using powders to cover up the sticks, and that way they can code and give it to somebody. So there's something secretive happening here, and he's like, I gotta figure out what's happening. The problem is, whatever this coded message is probably has something to do with the garden party, and it's probably someone trying to target someone, i.e. probably the emperor, because he is the emperor, and there's always going to be people try to assassinate or poison the emperor. Well, so he's trying to figure this out. He doesn't necessarily figure it out in time, at least from what it was shown to us, and he's hoping that actually nothing happens. His original way of actually trying to figure out who did anything was to go around and see if anyone else got burns or had issues with their hands, kind of like that one guy that was throwing away trash. Well, they didn't find anyone. And my fear is the fact that maybe they tried to think Maomao did something, because she actually has, her arm is messed up because of burns and stuff that she's done to herself to try to find cures. So hopefully that doesn't come up to play in the next few episodes, but we shall see. And it's going to be very interesting because honestly, we are introduced to two new characters here. Other than the two concubines that we know of, i.e. the pink one and the blue one, we learn of the little girl looking one, and then this other woman that's all in purple. Now, they tried to show briefly the little girl looking one looking innocent and kind of fawning over Jinshi. And it was like, okay, all right, fine, whatever. But the purple one, they kind of brushed off. So much so that made her look very sus. If there was ever an issue, like say someone's trying to attack another concubine or do something, almost purposely made it look like, oh, maybe she's behind something. Because in the very, very, very last panel before the end of the episode, we get a smiling face here, female's face, as in they have something diabolical to do. Now, of course, it makes me, wonder, oh, maybe it's the purple girl, because we don't know anything about her. But, maybe it's the little girl, because we look at the size and I'm like, oh, this little girl, she's falling over Jinshi. Oh, she's probably short and innocent. But sometimes that's there to kind of throw you off on purpose, because you think, oh, she's naturally innocent, so she couldn't possibly try to poison anyone. But poison is a forte done by women all the time. So just because it shows the face here of someone that might be bigger or taller doesn't necessarily mean it rules out the little girl consort. Now, we'll learn more about those other concubines, and maybe the little girl concubine is a legal lolly, but I don't know. We shall see in the future, because I can only speculate at this moment in time by what is presented to me at this moment. I have not read the manga, nor do I know what happens in future episodes, but I'm looking forward to know. And thus far, this anime has actually been, like I said before, very, very good. And I await more episodes, because I am excited by this one. Tell me what you guys think. I hope this analysis opened your eyes to a few different things. If you didn't know about this show already, I hope you do enjoy it. But we will be back. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We will continue on the analysis for this one and several others here on the channel. You guys be safe. Take care, and Lord willing, I'll see you in the future. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.